Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Stories for Beginners. On this channel, stories become your teacher. We practice with the shadowing technique. Listen carefully, then repeat after me. Copy my voice, my speed, and my feeling. This trains your brain to think in English, not to translate. Today's story is called I Got Lost in Wuhan. You will practice real travel English for airports, immigration, trains, tickets, asking for help, street directions, and fixing problems when your phone battery is low or your map does not work. Stay until the end, and your rhythm and pronunciation will grow step by step. Are you ready? Let's begin.
My name is Anna. I landed at Wuhan Tianyi International Airport. The signs showed arrivals in English and Chinese. I followed the arrows to immigration. The officer asked, "How long will you stay?" I said, 4 days for sightseeing. He stamped my passport and waved me through. At baggage claim, my suitcase rolled out slowly. I checked my phone battery and saw 50%. I took a deep breath and walked toward the metro signs.
Tickets and first confusion.
A ticket machine stood near the entrance. I tapped English and chose a single ride. I held a small plastic token in my hand. A map showed 3 lines and many stations. I looked for Jianghan Road near my hotel. The names were long and new to me. I traced the route with my finger twice. A staff member said, "Transfer at Hongtu Boulevard." I nodded but did not write it down. That was my first small mistake.
On the airport metro.
The train arrived with a soft bell. Doors opened, and I stepped inside. A screen showed the next stop in 2 languages. People watched videos quietly on their phones. I counted stations and relaxed my shoulders. An announcement said, "Transfer here for line 2." I stood quickly and walked out with the crowd. The corridor split left and right. I hesitated and chose the left tunnel. My map app froze and the signal dropped.
The wrong platform.
I reached a platform with a blue stripe. The sign looked almost like my line. A train arrived and I stepped on. I compared the station list above the doors. The names did not match my target. I felt a slow wave of doubt. I asked a student, "Does this go to Jianghan Road?" She checked her phone and shook her head. She said gently, "Opposite platform is correct." I got off at the next stop to turn back.
Back on track.
I crossed the platform and waited again. The next train showed the right direction. I watched the station dots light up in order. At Wangjiadan East, the train paused longer. I checked my phone and saw 30%. I switched to airplane mode to save power. The line map displayed Jianghan Road soon. I felt my chest relax at last. When the doors opened, I followed the exit signs. The street air smelled like rain and noodles.
Street maze.
The surface roads were wide and busy. Tall buildings threw long shadows on the pavement. My hotel name was written in English and Chinese. I compared it to the sign at the corner. Two streets shared almost the same spelling. I turned right and walked with small steps. After 5 minutes, the numbers did not match. A delivery rider stopped at the light. I asked, "Excuse me, is this the way to my hotel?" He pointed back and made a gentle U-turn sign.
Phone trouble.
I checked my battery and saw 20%. My offline map did not show small alleys. The rain began as a soft mist. I covered my bag and kept walking. A police kiosk stood under a tree. I stepped inside and spoke slowly. I showed my hotel address on paper. The officer typed and printed a small map. He highlighted a left turn near the next block. I thanked him and followed the paper route.
A closed road.
Construction blocked the sidewalk ahead. Orange barriers pushed pedestrians to a detour. A sign showed a temporary path through a market lane. I turned into the lane and heard voices echo. Stalls sold fruit, umbrellas, and steamed buns. The ground was wet and slippery in places. I held the paper map with 2 hands. The lane ended at a quiet cross street. My hotel sign still did not appear. I felt the first real worry of the day.
Asking at a tea shop.
A small tea shop glowed warm and bright. I stepped in and asked, "Do you have Wi-Fi?" The cashier pointed to a QR code on the wall. My phone needed a text code to join. My SIM card was not local and failed. I ordered a hot tea to be polite. The cashier used her phone to check my address. She drew a tiny box on my paper map. She said, 10 minutes on foot, straight and left. I thanked her and warmed my hands on the cup.
The river and a choice.
I walked to a wider road with trees. A sign pointed toward the Yangtze River. I heard a distant horn from a boat. The view opened and the air felt cooler. I checked my phone and saw 12%. I had to choose a solution now. Taxi apps needed a local payment method. Screens at bus stops scrolled fast schedules. A hotel number was printed on my booking. I decided to call and ask for directions.
A call for help.
I dialed, and a clerk answered politely. I said, "This is Anna. I am nearby but lost." He asked for a landmark, any sign or store. I read the nearest corner names slowly. He said, "Please wait there. I will guide you. Stay on the same side of the street. Walk to the pharmacy with a green cross. Turn left and continue for 2 minutes. Look for a blue canopy with our logo." My battery dropped to 9%.
Nearly there.
I found the pharmacy on the next corner. The green cross blinked above the door. I turned left and counted my steps. 1 minute, then 90 seconds, then 2 minutes. A blue canopy appeared above a glass door. The hotel name matched my booking. My shoulders finally relaxed and my breath slowed. Inside, The lobby felt calm and dry. I placed my passport on the counter. The clerk smiled and said, "Welcome, you made it."
Fixing the day.
I asked, "May I leave my bag for an hour?" He tagged it and placed it behind the desk. I plugged my phone into a charging station. I wrote the route to the metro on paper. Paper does not need a battery. The clerk circled 2 food streets nearby. "Try hot, dry noodles for lunch," he said. He handed me a simple printed city map. I traced a loop to return before sunset. My feet felt lighter with a plan.
Lunch and a lesson.
A small shop served hot, dry noodles. Steam rose and carried a sesame smell. I ordered 1 bowl and watched the cook. He mixed the sauce, scallions, and noodles quickly. The first bite was warm and rich. I wrote a sentence in my notebook. When lost, slow down, eat, breathe, and ask. I paid in cash and thanked the owner. Outside, the rain stopped and light returned. The streets felt kinder after food.
Yellow Crane Tower view.
I followed the signs to a famous hill. Ticket lines moved in a steady rhythm. I climbed the steps and watched the river below. Boats drew quiet lines on the surface. Wind touched the leaves and cooled my face. A guide explained a story in clear English. History opened like a calm door. I stood near a railing and listened. I took 1 photo and put my phone away. Memory felt stronger than the screen.
Afternoon metro back.
I reached the metro with a steady plan. I checked the line color and the last station. I wrote the transfer station in large letters. I kept the paper token in my right pocket. On the platform, I stood behind the line. A screen showed 2 minutes to arrival. Inside the train, I faced the route map. I counted 3 stops, then 4, then my transfer. I changed lines without rushing. The paper list guided me better than the app.
A small scare.
At the exit gate, my token did not scan. I tried again, and the light turned red. A staff member waved me to the office. He checked the token and the station count. He said, "Wrong entry recorded. I will reset it." He tapped twice and handed it back. The gate flashed green and opened. I thanked him for the quick help. I wrote 1 more note for later. When in doubt, ask staff first.
Evening along the river.
I walked along the river promenade. Families strolled and children laughed. Streetlights made soft lines on the water. Vendors sold fruit cups and warm milk tea. I bought a small cup and watched boats pass. The city breathed at a slower pace now. I replayed the day in simple scenes. Wrong platform, paper map, clear questions. Each step turned confusion into skill. I felt proud of my calm choices.
Back at the hotel.
The lobby smelled clean and quiet. I picked up my bag and checked in fully. My phone reached 80% on the charger. I copied tomorrow's plan into my notebook. Museum in the morning and and a bridge walk after. I laid out a light jacket for rain. I set 2 alarms for the next day. I messaged my mother, all good, safe, and learning. I turned off the big light and kept the lamp on. Sleep arrived, fast and steady.
What getting lost taught me.
In the morning, the streets looked clear and new. I sipped warm tea and reviewed my notes. Write the transfer station on paper. Ask staff before you guess. Save battery with airplane mode. Eat when your brain feels tight. Choose one landmark and walk with purpose. Getting lost is not the end of a trip. It is the lesson that makes you a better traveler. Wuhan taught me to move with patience and courage.
Great job today. You listened, repeated, and shadowed each line with me. I Got Lost in Wuhan reminds us that travel is not only about famous places, it is about calm questions, clear steps, and small solutions when plans change. Shadowing works the same way. One line at a time, your English becomes smoother and more confident. If you found this helpful, please like the video, share it with a friend, and subscribe to English Stories for Beginners. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new story. One page, one story, one step. Your English will grow. Thank you for learning with me. See you in the next video.